So I was watching the X Zone TV channel last night when I was abducted by aliens, and they kept repeating to me over and over again, simultv.com, simultv.com.
What's simultv.com?
That's what I asked them. They had it written on the side of their UFO.
How do you spell that?
UFO.
No, I mean simultv.com.
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 Right. simultv.com.
Interesting that you were abducted by aliens in a simultv.com UFO last night.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Now that you mention it, I remember now last night I was awakened from a deep sleep. My great-grandmother was standing there. She said she'd come from the hereafter to tell me about simultv.com. She even spelled it out for me. simultv.com, sonny boy.
simultv.com.
simultv.com, sonny boy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Guys, you'll never guess what my psychic guru just told me.
simultv.com.
Exactly. Are you guys psychic too?
Of course.
We all know about simultv.com. simultv.com.
The X Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X Zone Radio Show or endorsed in any manner by Rob McConnell, rel-mar McConnell Media Company, the X Zone Broadcast Network, its affiliated networks, stations, employees, or advertisers.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
And welcome back to the X Zone. I am Rob McConnell. We're coming to you from our broadcast center and studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. If you'd like to send me an email, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On all social media sites, Xzone Radio TV. On the X Zone Broadcast Network, you can just go to xzbn.net to find out when the X Zone is on, as well as the other great programming we have available for you 24/7, 365. Which reminds me, we've got a brand new show starting on January the 5th of next month actually. The show is entitled Heart to Heart Radio Show with Dan and Angela Clark. And we're looking forward to having Dan and Angela with us each week right here on the X Zone Broadcast Network. Now, if you'd like to check us out on the X Zone TV channel, that's exclusive to Simul TV. Our channel is number 21. And all you need to do is go to www.simultv.com. Exonation, my guests this hour are Ron Kolek and Maureen Wood. Now, Ron is the founder and lead investigator of the New England Ghost Project. With a degree in environmental science, he was the ultimate skeptic. However, a near-death experience changed all that. No longer blinded by his skepticism, he now uses scientific background to seek the truth about the paranormal and has co-written 2 books with Maureen Wood, The Ghost Chronicles and Ghost Today. Now, Maureen is a psychic investigator. She is a 5th-generation psychic trance-medium. For as far back as she can remember, she has communicated with the deceased. At the age of 15, she was introduced to a woman who studied with Laurie Cabot. That's the official Witch of Salem, Massachusetts, by the way. This woman took Maureen under her wing and guided her into ways not only that she could understand, but also control her gifts. At the age of 15, she served as a medium for adult séances. She has practiced, studied, and instructed metaphysical studies for more than 25 years. Now, Maureen has been with the New England Ghost Project since 2001 and has accompanied the group on over 100 investigations. Now, for all the information that you will ever need to know about the New England Ghost Project, their website is www.neghostproject.com. And Ron and Maureen, welcome to the X Zone.
Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Hey, actually, I have to correct you. We have 3 books now.
Oh, what's the title of the 3rd one?
More Ghost Chronicles.
I'm sorry?
More Ghost
Chronicles. Wow. And I guess the next one will be more and more Ghost Chronicles.
Really? Even more.
Well, much more, actually.
Much more, yeah, much more.
Well, first of all, guys, thanks so much for coming on the show. I'm looking forward to sharing this hour with you. And Ron, tell us a little bit about the New England Ghost Project.
Yeah, the New England Ghost Project was founded as a TV show back in, I think, 1998.
Mm-hmm.
I took a course in TV production, and in order to complete a course, I had to do a show on something.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a near-death experience in the hospital, and I also owned a manufacturing company that was supposed to be haunted, even though I didn't, believe it.
Sure.
So I said, you know what, I'll do it on ghosts. And I went on my first TV show, Investigation, and I realized, even though I have a degree in environmental science, there were a lot of things that I couldn't explain.
Right.
So it got me more and more curious, and it wasn't long before I was doing paranormal investigating full time.
And Maureen, tell us about your adventure into the paranormal with the New England Ghost Project.
Well, it's been, as you said, about 17 years that I worked with Ron, and he basically, if you can believe it, he put me on a test. He tested me. So I had called him from a newspaper article. I had, it's a long story, so I'll just say I was given a newspaper that I was looking for a sign of what I should do next with my abilities. And I was given this newspaper, and in the newspaper at the end, Ron had written an article about the New England Ghost Project. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to send him a message and see where it goes. I had sent him an email. He called me. And actually, it's funny, he invited me to go out on one of their investigations, which was going to be overnight on an island. It was going to be dropped off from a boat, no restrooms. He's like making it sound really luxurious. And, it was funny because I thought, you know what, I'm a big believer and things happen for a reason. Yeah. He called me up, he invited me, sure, I'll go. But what transpired is that one, got delayed or canceled. And then he just said, you know what, let's go out to dinner and you can meet the team and we'll talk. And, well, what I didn't know is he was testing me. So, it was a haunted restaurant. He had me go see if I picked up on anything. And when I had gone to the restroom there and I had seen a female spirit, I came back and told him. And, right after that, he said, sure, why don't you come on an investigation with me? So that began the adventure with the Ghost Project and Ron. It was beginning of a 4-part series with WNDS. We were doing 4 series for Halloween, the month of October, I believe, at the time.
This was a segment for WNDS News.
Right.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Yeah. So it was interesting. And I think after the first night of going out with the team, Ron invited me to join the team, and that was 17 years ago.
Wow. You've done over, 100 investigations?
At least.
My goodness.
We actually sat down together, Ron and I, when we were writing the first book.
Mm-hmm.
We decided which ones we were going to talk about. I think it was 17 True Hauntings in Ghost Chronicles. And then we went to sit down to write more Ghost Chronicles. We were both thinking, do we have stories to tell? And we started looking through, the many investigations that we had done. And we thought, wow, we could write several books because there's so many.
Go ahead, Ron. No, go ahead.
I've actually done a lot more investigations than that. That was the ones that Maureen accompanied me with. But yeah.
Being the gentleman that both Ron and I are.
I am?
Yeah.
Oh,
hey.
Okay.
Ron, I'm trying to help you out here, buddy.
Okay.
Okay? Now, being the gentleman that we are, Ron, don't say anything here. I'd like to ask you this first question. In your opinion, Maureen, what has been the most exciting investigation that both you, Ron, and the group have done together?
Oh boy, there's so many to choose from. I have to say, for me, the one of the strongest investigations. Oh boy, I would say the one in our newest book, More Ghost Chronicles, would be Gettysburg, and going to the Daniel Lady Farm, and I think that was because of such a loss right during the Civil War, and the amount of spiritual activity and energy that can be felt there, to me, sometimes can be just overwhelming. So that story to me is one of the strongest. I'm sure Ron has many that he would choose.
Yeah, well, I'm going to get to Ron in a second. What I'd like to ask you is, as a follow-up, why do ghosts remain in a certain area? For example, there are so many people, groups, investigators, teams that go to Gettysburg, and there's always ghosts. Why don't the ghosts leave?
Yeah, good question. I can't say why so much that they stay, other than, there are different types of hauntings or activity.
Right.
And it could be, a memory. It could be in interactive hauntings. So you've, one that, for instance, a spirit communicates with you. And then others, I believe, the energy is so intense and it almost gets locked in as if you're watching a video.
All right. So does that work with the electromagnetic field around the planet, and we each have in our auras that these ghosts or these images just get locked in with the electromagnetic fields?
I guess I don't know exactly the reason why. Ron could probably answer that. I know for me, if I was doing, for instance, psychometry, and you're holding a piece of metal, you're holding, for instance, a piece of jewelry.
Yes.
And, because the metal conducts energy, it's very possible that, you have something that has happened and transpired that was really intense and strong, emotional, let's say, and that memory gets locked into that, so much so that if you were to pick up that piece of jewelry, 100 years later, you may see that image or the impression of what took place at that time.
All right, we've got to take our first break. Ron, you've got a couple of seconds here to think about the number one exciting case that you've been on, and we'll all be back on the other side of this break. In Nation, my guests this hour are Ron Kolek and Maureen Wood, and they are with the New England Ghost Project. Their website is www.neghostproject.com. And we'll all be back on the other side of this break as we continue here in the X Zone from our broadcast center and studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. My name is Rob McConnell. Don't go away. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, join me, Rob McConnell, as together we'll investigate the world of the paranormal and the science of parapsychology here on the X Zone Radio TV show on XZBN and the X Zone TV channel on Simul TV. Since 1990, the X Zone Radio TV show has been the place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. Together, we'll investigate UFOs, aliens, ghosts, Bigfoot, psychic phenomena, lake monsters, conspiracy theories, government cover-ups, the truth embargo, alien abductions, ESP, haunted locations from around the world, and so much more. With over 28 years of broadcasting and more than 4,500 individual guests, the X Zone is truly a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality, as evidenced by the credibility, integrity, and professionalism of the guests that we bring to our international audience. If you have seen a UFO, had a close encounter, seen a ghost, Bigfoot, lake monster, or a story that you would like to share or have investigated, contact me, Rob McConnell, by sending me your email to xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, or you can call toll-free 1-800-610-7035, extension 143, and on Skype, X Zone Radio TV. For more information on the X Zone Radio TV show with yours truly, Rob McConnell, visit www.xzoneradiotv.com or www.xzonetvchannel.com or simultv.com and xzbn.net. Until next we meet here in the X Zone from our broadcast center and studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, always remember, X Zone Nation, keep your eyes to the sky and your heart in the light.
It's hard to listen to the news without realizing we're living in volatile, unprecedented times. Yet never has there been such an opportunity to transform the human condition. As old structures fail, where can we find the guidance to co-create a better way? Find Your Path Home is an ever-evolving, leading-edge information, education, and healing resource center designed to support and guide you on your path to unity and enlightenment. Based on sound principles employed by shaman worldwide, we provide techniques that can support you through the current transitions, offering online shamanic classes, international long-distance shamanic healing sessions, complimentary Mission Evolution radio episodes and Stairway to Heaven TV vignettes, seminars, retreats, and much more. All of this can be found on findyourpathhome.com.
And welcome back to the X Zone, everyone. I am Rob McConnell, and joining me this hour is the lovely Maureen Wood and the mean guy, Ron Kolek. They're both from the New England Ghost Project, and I'm only kidding.
You must be psychic, Rob.
I knew you were going to say that.
You're saying.
So sad. Anyway,
hey,
Rob, I got it before we start. I just got to say, I've been doing radio for almost 20 years now. I just wish I had half of your voice. You have an amazing voice.
Oh, thank you so much. And I must give good credit to that to Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
You know, this is the God's truth. I was getting into the industry, and a good friend of mine said, "You know, Rob, you've got a great voice, but if you want to make it better, you need to drink Jack Daniels."
There you go.
And I said,
excuse.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing was, and this is what I said. Well, I don't like it. He said, "No, but I do."
Yeah.
And to make a long story short, we've been friends over the years, and over the years we've shared many nice glasses of Jack Daniels.
There you go.
Yeah, but thank you very much for your compliment. I sincerely appreciate it. See, you're not a bad guy, Ron.
Oh yeah, I am.
Oh, is he really a bad guy, Maureen?
Sorry.
Why are you sorry that he's a bad guy?
No.
You're not...
No, he's a good guy. He pretends to be a bad guy, but he's someone that he appears to be this rough and tough guy, but he really has a heart of gold. See that? I did say it, Ron.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
So now just give her the $20 the next time you see her, and all of you. Now, Ron, I've given you enough time to think of your answer. Okay, so in your opinion, over the many years that you've been doing this, what in your opinion is the number one place that you've investigated, either alone or with your crew, that has really got the adrenaline going, and that to you is the landmark proof that the paranormal is real?
First of all, we didn't touch on too much about what Maureen does. Maureen's a trance-medium as opposed to just a regular medium, and that's where pretty much the spirit takes over her body. Her face transfigures. She gets, she pretty much becomes the spirit. And, she's tossed me across the room before. She's dislocated my fingers. So anytime I get to tussle with her, that's always interesting.
Wait a sec. Hold on here. Oh.
And it's always the spirit, Rob.
Yeah. You remember when you said I was psychic a few seconds ago?
Yep.
Oh, I like you. If you'll excuse the expression, paybacks are a bitch, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Anyway.
I was going to ask Maureen about her being a trance medium in a few minutes. And I'll get into it.
But I was going to use that as my segue to talk about my most interesting case, which would probably be the one in the new book, which is Freetown State Forest and the Bridgewater Triangle. And that's where she actually channeled the Pukwudgie. And I had just gotten out of the hospital with a heart surgery, so I was split from stem to stern, and yet I had to tackle her and throw her on the ground, not once, but twice during this woodland investigation.
When you say tackle her...
I mean physically tackle her.
Oh, okay.
If you want to check it out, go on to YouTube and check out When Puck Wedgies Attack, and you'll see me in my glory.
Okay.
Yeah, I was sacked like a football game or a football player. Yeah.
Oh, was he getting back at you?
Probably.
I wonder. But I will say, I knew he had the surgery. So if I was in control of at that moment, I would have obviously tried not to hurt Ron.
Sure.
I even think that night you had to get your wedding ring cut off, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Well, if I tackled another woman, my wife would expect me to cut my wedding ring off.
She's used to it. They don't call us St. Jan for nothing.
Exactly. She truly is.
But that was a tough night.
Yes, eh? The triangle that you mentioned.
Yes.
Tell us what goes on in that triangle.
You name it, it goes on in there.
I mean, besides paranormal investigators, tackling ladies, psychic, trance-mediums.
Absolutely. It has everything. It has UFOs. It has, of course, the Pukwudgie. It has the hitchhiker. It has the swamp monsters. It's got Satanism in the woods, occults, murder, body dumping, you name it. It's all in there.
Suicides. A lot of suicides. Yeah, sadly, sad to say.
Yeah, nice little area. You might want to take the family.
Yeah.
No. Yes, not really.
So we can. If you don't like them.
So we can say there it's not like Jellystone Park, huh?
No, more like Suicide Forest in Japan.
That's a place where people are dying to go to, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Jeez, I haven't heard that for a while.
So tell me, why do you think that this area is so busy with all these different paranormal activities that are usually spread out over different countries, different states, and yet it seems that everything can be found in this triangle? What's the size of the triangle?
Oh God, I wouldn't know offhand. I haven't measured it lately. No, it's
the triangle. We're talking about the triangle here.
Yeah, it's quite large. The triangle.
La 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 la. Didn't hear a thing.
But there are other areas in the world that are like that. Of course, the Bermuda Triangle, and there's the Great Lakes Triangle.
Yes, that's right.
I mean, there's tons of them all over the place. There's these certain areas where a lot of activity, unusual activity, occur, and we still don't know why. Maybe it's got something to do with magnetic forces or
ley lines and stuff like that.
Who knows? Yeah. Aliens, I don't know. Maybe it's a portal.
Sure.
Black hole. Maybe Trump's there. I don't know.
Don't say that.
Ooh.
Got trouble now, isn't he?
I love it.
The trouble.
I love this. First of all, he sacks her, and now he's giving her heck about her political sides.
That's right.
Actually, we both agree.
Yeah, it's very, very rare that we do actually agree sometimes, Rob.
Really?
No, I'm teasing. When we've done public speaking, we can tend to get a little bit sarcastic with each other. So everybody's like, "Oh my God, have you guys? How long have you been married?" I'm like, "Oh, no, shiver to think." But
we'd kill each other.
Well, let me ask you this, Maureen, because you opened the door to this question, not I.
Yes.
Has he ever sacked you in front of people who are there to hear you guys talk?
Well, not when we're talking. And not while we're doing public speaking, but if we're doing an investigation, a couple times,
More than a couple.
More than a couple.
And and I will say I have since I started working with Ron and doing a lot of the trance channeling, which kind of transpired as we progressed as we were working together.
Right.
I would often come home and say, yeah, Ron, I'm so glad Ron has my back. My poor husband's like, I don't know what you mean by that. I'm like, well, if I know where, I am channeling a spirit energy and I need assistance to kind of get back to this realm, let's say, I know that Ron can, working together so long, he could sense when it's time to help me or allow me to do it myself.
So he either helps you, allows you to do it yourself, or sacks you.
Pretty much.
That's it. Yep.
Okay.
Got it.
You guys do sound like an old married couple.
I know.
Yeah. That's sad.
I heard how Ron's wife kind of looks at everything. Well, what does your husband say? And
yeah. I don't know. My husband's not a big believer in the paranormal. I will say that. He's had his experiences, and it terrifies him.
Yeah.
But he's afraid of the dead. So it's kind of I would say would be a good book in itself, right? So you have a medium and you have someone who's terrified of the dead. So it makes a great combination, put it that way.
You've got to tell him the story of the Concord Colonial.
Oh, yeah.
Regards to your husband. I don't know how much time you have in this.
We've got about a minute before we go to our next news break. So let's just keep on this, and we'll talk about that case when we come back.
You have to.
Why do you think the paranormal is getting more and more popular, Ron?
Television shows.
Really, huh?
That's it.
Do you think the Internet's also played a big part in it?
Well, yeah, it's hand in hand, I guess. You're right. Thank you for adding that. And great shows like yours and mine.
Ours. No, I agree. You know, I've been doing this show now for 29 years, and it's been a voyage, to say the least.
What the hell else you got to do up in Canada anyway?
Well, we can throw rocks at the Prime Minister, but he never comes this way. You know, like leave it to Canada to you know this newest thing that happened where we arrested somebody that was wanted by the United States.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was great too. But what does our government do? They allow her to go to a bail court, and she gets out on a $10 million bail bond.
Oh.
You know, I would have kept her in jail.
She's only like the richest executive in China, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh well. But,
well,
you know.
I think what happened was that Prime Minister Trudeau was told that if you don't let her go out on bail, we're not going to send any more Chinese milk over to Canada. That's my own opinion. We'll be back on the other side of this commercial break as we continue here in the X Zone from our broadcast center and studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Our guests are Ron Kolek. He is the executive director and lead investigator of the New England Ghost Project.com. As well as Maureen Wood, who is the psychic investigator. She is also a psychic trance-medium. And their website, once again, is neghostproject.com. They are here, and they've been here for thousands of years, making their presence known in the shadows. They might be seen by a lonely motorist on a deserted road late at night, or by a frightened and confused husband in the bedroom he is sharing with his wife. But who are they? What do they want? Why are they here? Perhaps most concerning, has the government been aware of their presence all along? The new book by Ellie Marzulli, UFO Disclosure, the 70-year cover-up exposed, delves into the world of UFOs. Can full disclosure be soon? Order now and receive a free hour and 37-minute DVD on the UFO phenomenon. UFOs are real. Get both the book and the DVD, a $40 value, for only $19.99. To order your book and DVD today, go to lamarzulli.net. That's LAMARZULLI.net.
Rob McConnell here, presenting an overview for Nicholas Paul Jennings, author of a fascinating book, Amen. It presents facts revealed by Egyptologists, facts that enable us to understand why Amen is the beginning of creation of God. It provides recommendations for religious leaders of the major religions to unify their beliefs and teach the Word of God. Love one another. Amen informs people how mankind conceived God. It was the Egyptians that developed the concepts of a soul, a hereafter, and Son of God. And finally, after the worship of many gods, they conceived the belief in one universal God, the maker of all there is. For more information, visit www.futureofgodamen.com. That's www.futureofgodamen.com.
Welcome back, one and all. Ron Kolek and Maureen Wood are our special guests this hour. They are with New England Ghost Project. Their website is www.anyghostproject.net, not any, N-E, ghostproject.com. All right, before we went to the break, you were going to tell us about, actually, no, Ron teased you to tell us about something that happened.
I would never do that.
Yeah, he would, but I think you'll find it interesting, Rob. So my husband, as I said, is really terrified of the dead, right? Which I don't blame him. But anyway, he's with the Ghost Project many times over the years. We'd all get together before we do an investigation. We'd go out to dinner, and my husband would always say, I'll come visit you. I'll come stay with you guys, go to dinner. But because he's so terrified of paranormal activity, he always seems to, something comes up, right? And he cancels it. So this one night it's in the first book, Ghost Chronicles, and it's at Concord Colonial Inn. So it's in Concord, Massachusetts, and it's a historical inn, and, we were going there to investigate, and my husband was supposed to meet us for dinner. So this whole night goes by, my husband calls, he says, I'm running late from work, I can't make it. I'm like, yeah, okay. And so we have dinner, we investigate, there's this room, Haunted 24, room 24, that Ron and his wife, St. Jan, were staying in. And we did a radio show out of that room. And then it got really late in the night. I think it was about 2 a.m. And I said, Ron, I'm going to head home, but can I use the bathroom first? He's like, yeah, sure, no problem. So I go into their, the bathroom, and I use it. Well, I'm washing my hands, and, I go to leave. But before I left, I look up in the mirror, and there's this woman in front of me, and she has black hair. She's in a Victorian gown, very attractive woman. I'm like, oh, my God. And usually, I'd want to communicate, but I was just beginning to get really tired. So I said to her, I'll come back and I'll visit you another time and talk with you. So I go back into the, haunted room, the 24, and Ron is talking with the team, and we're all getting, cleaning up and getting ready to leave. And, so they just, when I was going to tell him about, this woman in the room, he says, hey, so how come Stephen, my husband, didn't show up tonight? I said, well, Steve, he's really not a believer. Maybe he needs an experience from himself. Now, lesson learned, never say that in a haunted room. So I said, okay. And he's like, yeah. I said, well, by the way, Ron, there's a woman in, the bathroom. So Ron being Ron, right? He had the videos thing set up. He jumps on the bed and he's like, come and get me. I'm like, okay, Ron, here's the deal. The Ghostbusters, when you watch that and you have them kissing the librarian and her face shrivels away to nothing but a skull and eye sockets, right? I said, be careful, because that could be you, right? And he's laughing, ha, ha, ha. So I head home. Well, usually I will cleanse myself and protect myself and this whole thing. But I got to tell you, Rob, I was never so tired. Like, for some reason, I was exhausted. It was all I could do to drive home.
Well, working with Ron, I can understand it.
Yeah. So I get home, I go to bed, right? I never slept so good, okay? Got up the next morning, my husband was so angry with me. So he's like looking at me and he's like, you, the next time you go out and you investigate, you sleep in another bedroom. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, oh, yeah. He says, you come home last night. He said, you get into bed really late. He goes, you fall asleep. And next thing I know, you're rubbing my back. And now I'm laughing because I'm like, no, that wasn't me. And he goes, you're rubbing my back. And then I'm like kissing you. And I'm thinking, ooh, she should go investigate more often, right? So he says, I'm kissing you. And then all of a sudden, he says, the curtain was moving from the window being open. And he's like, the light came in through the curtain. And I looked down at your face and it shriveled away to nothing but a skull and eye sockets.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, and now I just looked at him, this poor guy, he looked like he saw a ghost. His eyes were huge, they were all watery, right? And he's like, and I looked to my left and you were sound asleep. So me being me, maybe I'm heartless, but I busted out laughing. And I looked at him, I'm like, and I'm sitting there saying to the spirit, thank you. She was like sticking up for me. So I said to him, I'm really sorry, honey, but can I use that in a book someday? He's like, yeah, whatever. Right? So sure enough, we write the book, and the publisher even said, how can you put that in the book? You have to tone that down a little. That's not funny. I'm like,
yes, it is.
It is. You're married to somebody for all these years. I think at the time it was like 20 years, 25 years. And it's like finally vindicated, right? So this poor guy to this day just kind of like, bring up that subject and he just freezes.
So I've got to ask you, like you were telling me that Ron, being Ron, is always prepared with video cameras in the bathroom.
Not the bathroom, in the bedroom. Oh, that's even worse.
Not the bathroom.
Okay.
No, the bedroom. Well, only because
don't cast aspersions upon my reputation. It's bad enough.
He was trying to get spiritual activity in the bedroom, not other activities.
Oh, wait a sec. Spiritual, do you mean ghostly or do you mean religious?
Yes.
Okay.
Ghostly.
So he wasn't.
I don't think you got too much that night, Ron, because she was at my house.
Oh, actually.
Whoa, here we go.
It was Saturday night.
Saturday Night Fever.
Actually, I had 2 cameras running, and this is quite a while ago. So back then we used VHS at that time. And so I had 2 cameras set up, and I woke up in the middle of the night, and the bed started shaking and moving. I looked at my wife. She was sleeping. I said, this is so cool. And then I said, I'm not going to move. I'll just let it take it. I know I got the cameras going on and everything else. So.
Wait a sec. Why do you have cameras going on in your bedroom?
I'm sleeping in the most haunted room.
I thought you were at home. I thought you were at home.
No, not at home.
Well, he doesn't show us the ones from at home.
That's another story. Of course, there was the one that we set up in Gettysburg, right? That I set the camera up in my bedroom, but I forgot it was there. That was bad.
Wait a sec. This is starting to get interesting here. What happened?
So anyways,
okay.
when I went in the morning, I went to check the cameras. They both run out of tape at that time. So it was useless. No documentation. It never happened.
Oh, my goodness. Listen, do you guys ever come across a case that is just bogus?
Bogus? Explain bogus.
Fraudulent.
Well, not every place is haunted.
Yeah.
So,
but,
yeah.
The interesting thing about the paranormal and ghosts is it's real to the person it's happening to, whether it's there are reasons for it or not, natural reasons or not. To them, it's real. So to say it's bogus, I really don't like that. I mean, to them, it's real. So, I mean, that's what the whole paranormal experience is based on. No, actual fraudulent, no.
No.
How
about you, Maureen?
The only one that I can think of, and I wouldn't necessarily say bogus, but I think Ron and I went out one day to investigate for this woman who was experiencing something, to her, she considered paranormally related, right? But when we got there, we did some investigation, we walked around, and it turned out, now was there something at another time? Possibly, but we didn't feel anything. But what we did experience, and from what she was telling us, I think it was more either some of the medication she might have been on that was, maybe giving her some type of. Don't you remember the older woman we went to?
A woman, like how many women I visit?
Well, we went to.
No, we're talking. Wait a sec. Hold on here. She's talking about when you're doing an investigation, not when you're,
No, it was one of the elderly. We went out to help her. It was a woman who was saying she had something going on in her house, and it was, she was scared, and it was actually something we thought was either, she was on medicine that might have caused. You don't remember that one?
Is this the aliens?
Yeah, maybe.
There was this woman. Oh, yeah, a little old woman who. That's pretty cool.
But he didn't remember.
Well,
Thank God you have me here.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. This when we had the radio show that we used to do together on WCCM, she used to call in every week saying that she had aliens in her kitchen. She would call constantly. So finally, I found out where she was, and it was like, a couple of miles from the station. I said, okay, after the station, we'll come down, we'll take a look at it. And it was in a three floor flat, and we went up and we came into the room, and we came into her kitchen, and she was telling us all about these one-eye aliens, and what they were was knots in their paneling.
Oh my gosh!
But that being said, I brought an EMF meter with me, and as soon as I walked into the apartment, it went off the scale. I mean, it was I can't believe the amount of
energy.
Yeah, EMF in there. It was unbelievable. Yeah. I'm sure it was natural sources. Well, I assume it's natural sources, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
Why she would see that, and plus she was old. So what can I say?
I've got about 30 seconds before I have to go to my final break. Is there any demographic when it comes to those who have more experiences than others? Do men have more experiences in the paranormal based on your investigations, or do women?
You hear more from women, but I think it's because it's a macho thing for men.
I think so too. Yeah. All right, my friends, please stand by. We've got to take our final break. X-Zone Nation, our two guests this hour are Ron Kolek. He's the executive director and lead investigator for the New England Ghost Project, and Maureen Wood is a psychic investigator, but she's also a psychic trance-medium, and she is also with the New England Ghost. All right, she's also with the New England Pain in the Ass Ghost Project. Oh my gosh! You notice how I can make any show digress?
Yeah. Well, we're with you on that one.
All right. Three of a kind. Here we go. We'll be back on the other side of this commercial break. And just in case I was a little preoccupied with the pain in the ass comment, their website is www.neghostproject.com. And we'll be back on the other side of this break. Whatever you do, do not go away.
You have heard of the X Zone? Now watch it on Simul TV, plus 500 video games, live TV channels, free video on demand, worldwide, and more. Does this sound like tomorrow's television? Well, it is, but you can have it today, right now. It is Simul TV. Simul TV offers what the others only wish they could provide. 15 exclusive channels like X Zone, sci-fi, and horror. We are worldwide. No other provider offers that. 500 built-in video games. No need to have an extra expensive system. We have them included. Free video on demand. Live streaming events from around the world. Interactive online network, and much more. Tomorrow's TV today. Simul TV. Sound too good to be true? Well, it's not. You can have Simul TV today. Sign up at simultv.com. Do it today.
They are here, and they've been here for thousands of years, making their presence known in the shadows. They might be seen by a lonely motorist on a deserted road late at night, or by a frightened and confused husband in the bedroom he is sharing with his wife. But who are they? What do they want? Why are they here? Perhaps most concerning, has the government been aware of their presence all along? The new book by Ellie Marzulli, UFO Disclosure, the 70-year cover-up exposed, delves into the world of UFOs. Can full disclosure be soon? Order now to receive a free hour and 37-minute DVD on the UFO phenomenon. UFOs are real. Get both the book and the DVD, a $40 value, for only $19.99. To order your book and DVD today, go to lamarzulli.net. That's LAMARZULLI.net.
So I was watching the X Zone TV channel last night when I was abducted by aliens, and they kept repeating to me over and over again, simultv.com, simultv.com.
What's simultv.com?
That's what I asked them. They had it written on the side of their UFO.
How do you spell that?
UFO.
No, I mean simultv.com.
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 Right. simultv.com.
Interesting that you were abducted by aliens in a simultv.com UFO last night.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Now that you mention it, I remember now last night I was awakened from a deep sleep. My great-grandmother was standing there. She said she'd come from the hereafter to tell me about simultv.com. She even spelled it out for me.
simultv.com, sonny boy.
simultv.com.
simultv.com, sonny boy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Guys, you'll never guess what my psychic guru just told me.
simultv.com.
Exactly. Are you guys psychic too?
Of course. We all know about simultv.com. simultv.com.
www.neghostproject.com. First of all, guys, before we go any further, I want to thank both of you for coming on the show. It's been a great hour. It's gone by way too fast. And congratulations on your 3 books. Now, where can people get copies of your books?
Amazon, Barnes and Noble, a lot of bookstores carry them. The metaphysical ones, I would assume.
Excellent. What is the most popular case that you two get to investigate? Is it hauntings? Is it poltergeist? Is it apparitions? Is it orbs? Is it just the mix of everything thrown into one?
I like the locations. That's one of the reasons I get involved too, because I have a minor in history too, and I just absolutely love history, and so I get to go into a lot of these really cool locations that I couldn't get in, and go into places that you couldn't go, the public couldn't go into. So that's one of my favorite things about investigating.
So would you say that you're not only a paranormal investigator, but you're a historian as well?
Oh, absolutely. You can't have the paranormal without, history. And also, I'm a scientist too, because you're trying to explain it as well, which is, a little bit of that. One of the things most people don't know is that I worked on the moon program. Yes, we did go to the moon, despite what those flat earthers think.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, that's right.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't.
Yeah. I'll say Buzz Aldrin after you.
Oh. The Russians beat us there anyway, so what the heck?
Yeah. I think it was Germans, the Nazis after World War II.
That was their way of getting back to us.
Did you ever see that movie, Iron Sky?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, it's a riot.
It is. It truly is. What did you do in the Moon Project? By the way, that must have been something really great.
I worked on the lunar excursion module. I worked on specifically the radar and the chem lab. So.
Wow. Well, thank you very much for doing that.
Oh, no problem.
It's great.
I'll do it again. We go to Mars.
Well, I understand. I understand that they're actually thinking about going back to the moon.
Commercially, I heard.
No, I was reading an article earlier today that NASA put out.
Oh, really?
That they're really contemplating on going back to the moon because of the, HE2? And they're going to try and figure out how to mine it by setting up a colony up there. It was a fascinating article. And Maureen...
So what about the alien base on the dark side?
Listen, let me give you my idea when it comes to aliens. Okay?
Yeah, here we go.
All right, and I'm not talking about the ones that are climbing over the wall between Mexico and the United States right now.
Or the geese that are flying between Canada and the United States.
Yeah, you don't hear us bitching about the geese, do you? Oh, no.
Damn geese, we do, though.
Yeah, build the net, right?
Exactly.
There must be, I swear to God, that there is a sign on the other side of the moon that says, Earth ahead, turn back now. I believe that we are the Botany Bay of the universe.
Could be. Makes sense to me.
Yeah. Because we do crazy things on this planet. Woo, do we ever do crazy things?
Maybe this is Paradise Lost.
Yeah.
Maybe this is just Lost.
I think we're just the training team, We're the ones that we're being monitored for everything we do to see how we react.
How not to do it.
Or how not to do it, right? What to do and what not to do.
I agree with you. 100%. As a psychic trance-medium, what else do you do beside the investigations with the good people at the New England Ghost Project?
What do I do for a real job?
No. I mean as...
What?
What?
I actually, as far as with the New England Ghost Project, we do public, speaking events.
He's talking about you. He wants to know what
me
you
personally?
Do.
Yes.
Oh, believe it or not, am a technical. I was.
No. He wants to hear about your readings and stuff.
Oh, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Boy, am I ever glad you're here, Ron?
Oh,
I do a lot of different things, Rob.
Now
it's late for me. It's been a long day. Actually, no, I do a lot of healings. I do a lot of readings. So I have a lot of clients that I work with to try to help them do spiritual coaching and so forth.
That's excellent. It's nice to know that there are people helping people out there, and there should be more of that.
I agree.
When you go out and do investigations, one of the topics that we've heard here many times are these orbs. Now, what are your
Oh boy!
Yeah,
you touched a sore spot.
All right. Okay, so I would imagine one is pro and the other is con on this one, right?
Ron, I can't even speak for Ron, but I can say to me it's not just seeing orbs because, yes, it can be anomalies with light. It can be many different things.
Yeah.
But having said that, I also think, I think it matters what's going on at the time. Yeah. So, for instance, if I'm picking up activity, if there's a picture that's being taken at the same time, if EVPs were being done, and collectively, if you get an orb and there's a lot more going on at the time, and I think to dismiss it as something that's just naturally occurring and not so much, paranormally related is almost turning a blind eye, if that makes sense.
It does. And Ron, as a scientist, what is your take on what an orb is?
Dust, water vapor, camera, blah, 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 blah. It's for the most part, it's all natural explosion. But you know what? I just hate orbs, absolutely hate them, because people see so much in them. And the interesting thing about it is they say they'll take a picture and they'll see an orb like on their son's shoulder and say, "Oh, look, there's my grandfather." And who am I to say, okay, that's not their grandfather? If they believe it's their grandfather, they're not saying like there's a ghost on him or there's a spirit on him. They're saying that's my grandpa. Very specific. So if it means that much to them, who am I to say, oh, that's a bunch of bull wacky, So enjoy your pick orbs. If you get something out of it, love them. But there you go. And then, you talk to most investigators, and they'll tell you the same thing. Oh, I think orbs are dust particles and everything. 99% of the time. However, that 1%, I got this one here, and I'll show you. And so, I don't know. I just hate orbs.
Well, in your own words, each of you, what is the most popular misconception when it comes to the paranormal? Let's go with ladies first. Maureen.
Yes, good idea.
That not every encounter is a demonic encounter. How's that?
I agree with that one.
Oh, God, yeah.
And how about you, Ron?
You have to do things like they're showing on TV.
How's that?
I've done investigations where we didn't do. I mean, let's face it, I've been doing this for over, 20 years, and about 20 years, and you go into a place and you do an investigation and you draw on your experience and according to the way we've been doing it, and they'll say, well, that's not the way they do it on TV. So evidently you're wrong because some guy on TV has a TV show, so he knows what he's doing.
Well, my take on that is that these guys on the TV shows never get any real evidence, so they must be doing something wrong.
Oh, they get lots of physical evidence. If you watch these, depends what you call evidence, right?
Depends what you call, yeah.
Because let's face it, being in the media, we know that it's entertainment. You have to keep your audience entertained in order to get the ratings, in order to get the advertising revenue.
Right.
It's a dog-eat-dog world.
I'll tell you, my favorite show was Most Haunted. I loved Most Haunted. They had great historic locations in England, of course, and it was good the way they did it. And then they had a vet screaming all the time, so you had that entertainment factor. It was awesome.
Whatever happened to that one that used to be on A&E way back when? Penn State Paranormal?
Oh boy, yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen anything about them. I don't typically watch the shows, only because I don't want to be influenced from me.
Yeah.
But I do, my son went to Penn State, so I kind of just peeked to see how they were doing, and I think it's been a few years, right, since they've been around?
Yep.
I don't know what happened to them.
I do, but I can't comment on anything.
Wasn't there a bit of a...
Maybe they graduated from college.
Well, wasn't there a bit of a
Yeah,
there was a bit of
Still is.
There still is, eh?
Well, for those of us who have no clue.
Well, we're communicating telepathically here.
Yeah, of course we are.
See, that's what you're doing. I guess
it's a man thing.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm surprised. I'm surprised you, Maureen, being a psychic trance medium, didn't pick that up.
Yeah, I know. See that?
Well, you know,
don't know everything.
No, Rob, you know what it is. It's all about vibrations and frequencies. See, women, they're on a different planet than us. They have no clue what we think and what we say.
Yep.
Oh, I know somebody who's going to get sacked very shortly.
going to be reversed.
Hey, guys, I hate doing this, but you and I have got to say so long for tonight. First of all, I want to thank you so much for being on the show. It's been a great pleasure talking to the both of you. I wish you continued success. And from our homes to yours, a very Merry Christmas.
Thank you. You too.
Merry Christmas to you.
All right.
Merry Christmas.
And once again, X Zone Nation, if you'd like to find out more about our two guests tonight, Ron Kolek and Maureen Wood, who are with the New England Ghost Project, their website is www.neghostproject.com. I'll be back on the other side of this commercial break with the news at 6.5 minutes past the top of the hour as we continue here in the X Zone from our broadcast center and studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. I'm Rob McConnell. Don't go away. They are here, and they've been here for thousands of years, making their presence known in the shadows. They might be seen by a lonely motorist on a deserted road late at night, or by a frightened and confused husband in the bedroom he is sharing with his wife. But who are they? What do they want? Why are they here? Perhaps most concerning, has the government been aware of their presence all along? The new book by Ellie Marzulli, UFO Disclosure, the 70-year cover-up exposed, delves into the world of UFOs. Can full disclosure be soon? Order now and receive a free hour and 37-minute DVD on the UFO phenomenon. UFOs are real. Get both the book and the DVD, a $40 value, for only $19.99. To order your book and DVD today, go to lamarzulli.net. That's LAMARZULLI.net. If you are looking for a safe, zero-calorie natural option to the harmful artificial sweeteners on the market today, Just Like Sugar is what you're looking for. Just Like Sugar is a wonderful natural alternative for those health-conscious people who choose a calorie-restricted diet with a great, pure, sweet flavor that tastes just like sugar. Just Like Sugar is a great natural option for people suffering from diabetes and may be useful in restricted diet programs where standard sugars are not allowed and does not cause a laxative effect of some other sweeteners. Just Like Sugar comprises a perfect blend of chicory root fiber, natural calcium, natural vitamin C, and Just Like Sugar's sweetness comes from the natural flavors from the peel of the orange. Just Like Sugar is a natural alternative to harmful artificial sweeteners and will change the way that you believe all natural sweetener products taste. Just Like Sugar is available at your local Whole Foods markets, Wild Oats markets, Henry's, Sun Harvest, and many other fine natural food stores in the U.S., Canada, and worldwide.
You have heard of the X Zone? Now watch it on Simul TV, plus 500 video games, live TV channels, free video on demand, worldwide, and more. Does this sound like tomorrow's television? Well, it is, but you can have it today, right now. It is Simul TV. Simul TV offers what the others only wish they could provide. 15 exclusive channels like X Zone, sci-fi, and horror. We are worldwide. No other provider offers that. 500 built-in video games. No need to have an extra expensive system. We have them included. Free video on demand. Live streaming events from around the world. Interactive online network, and much more. Tomorrow's TV today. Simul TV. Sound too good to be true? Well, it's not. You can have Simul TV today. Sign up at simultv.com. Do it today.